Bayou Breakdown. We break down LSU football's upcoming matchup against the South Carolina Gamecocks, LSU volleyball's impressive weekend against two ranked SEC opponents, and a former LSU golfer making a giant step in her professional career. All that and more, the Bayou Breakdown starts now.
Welcome to the Bayou Breakdown. I'm Olivia Drawdy.
And I'm Kennedy Banks.
To start the show, we want to mention the latest comments from Kyron Lacey's lawyer, Matthew Ory. In an interview with HTV10, he provided a video that appears to show Lacey's vehicle more than 200 feet from the fatal crash.
Lacey, who died by suicide in April, was charged with negligent homicide, felony hit and run, resulting in death, and reckless operation of a vehicle. Many are calling for an investigation of state police who's handled the chase. We'll keep you updated on the latest.
And now that the bye week is over, LSU football is back and ready to take on the Gamecocks in their homecoming game. The 4-1 Tigers have had 2 weeks to prepare for Saturday's game in Tiger Stadium. Shane Beamer's team is also coming off a bye week, and the Gamecocks are coming to Baton Rouge with a 3-2 record after getting knocked down by Vanderbilt at home and losing to Missouri on the road. The Tigers are 19-1 under Brian Kelly on Saturday nights in Death Valley, and they'll be eyeing win number 20 on Saturday.
LSU will need their best players to shine on Saturday, especially Garrett Nussmeier. Now, it's been a very different performance from what we saw from LSU starting quarterback last year. Nussmeier just hasn't been able to throw the deep passes. He has about 100 fewer yards per game if we compare him to last year, and he's only thrown for 8 passing touchdowns so far. Reporter Gia Picarella has more on what Brian Kelly thinks his team needs to do to win, and while the keys to winning are the same as last year, the Tigers' strengths are different, right, Gia?
Thanks, ladies. Yeah, we all saw the game last year, right? LSU didn't technically lose, but they also didn't earn that win. It kind of just fell into their hands. They're going to want to flip that script this year. This game is coming at a crucial part in their season, and Brian Kelly says they're going to win this game in a couple of different ways, right? They've got to contain QB Lenore Sellers and keep him inside of the pocket where he is uncomfortable. He also thinks it's going to be a heavy special teams game, and also he wants to see his offense running the ball effectively. Now, he says that's not going to be a central part of the game plan, but it's something they're going to have to execute if they want to win this game.
Getting the running game going is a relative term to, for me, in terms of efficiency. You don't want to be one-dimensional, but you want to be able, when you run the football, you can have some success like we did against Ole Miss late in the game, right? How do you carry that to, where we're going to bludgeon people up front? That's not who we are right now. But we need to have a running game that keeps you honest.
As we know, LSU is coming off of a bye week, so Garrett Nussmeier had a whole week to rest and recover, take a few virtual reality reps every day, not physical reps in practice. So hopefully that'll be just what this offense needs to get them another conference win. Covering LSU football, I'm Gia Picarella.
Thanks, Gia. It's make or break time for the Tigers, and they have some tough opponents still down the road. After facing South Carolina, LSU will travel to Nashville to face the Commodores and then host Texas A&M in Tiger Stadium. After the Aggies, they'll have another bye week and then travel to Tuscaloosa.
And we had a crazy Saturday with some major upsets in college football, starting with what may be the biggest upset of the year, Penn State visiting UCLA. UCLA came into this game as the only team in FBS that had not led a single second this year, and they have an interim head coach, so it really seemed like the odds were stacked against them. But out of nowhere, they hand number 7 Penn State their second loss in a row. Former Vol Nico Iamaleava scored 5 touchdowns, 3 of them on the ground. UCLA is now the first 0-4 team to beat a top 10 opponent since 1985.
Switching over to the Swamp, Florida's defensive line bullied Texas's Arch Manning, sacking him 6 times. This Texas team hasn't looked good at all, and matter of fact, they've only won against the bad teams they faced this year. After Saturday's loss, Manning has gone from being a Heisman candidate to being out of the top 30. And it won't get any easier for the Longhorns as they're going to face the number 6 Oklahoma Sooners in the Red River rivalry this weekend. Could get ugly for Steve Sarkisian and their team facing their biggest rivals. Speaking of slipping through, the AP rankings came out and both Texas and Penn State are now unranked. Personally, I knew it was just a matter of time until both these teams dropped a few, but Penn State going from number 7th to unranked is just brutal.
No, I really agree. Obviously, I didn't really expect a lot. You lose 2 of these games, you're going to fall in the rankings. But going from preseason 1 and 2 to out of the top 25 after just week 5 is completely unexpected. Luckily, LSU is now number 11 after the bye. The SEC leads the top 10 with 5 teams, and apart from Texas Tech, all top 10 teams remain undefeated. After the break, we'll tell you all you need to know about the divisional rounds of the MLB playoffs.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our every day.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. The wild card rounds of the MLB playoffs came to a close last week with the Yankees, Cubs, Tigers, and Dodgers all punching their tickets into the divisional series that started over the weekend. Yesterday in the AL, the Yankees got pummeled by the Blue Jays, losing Game 2 7-13. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. came in clutch yet again with a massive grand slam in the bottom of the 4th, giving the Jays a 9-run lead on New York. Check that out. That's also Vladdy's second homer of the series, and that's a bat flip that's going to go down in October baseball history. Toronto leads that series 2-0 with a chance to clinch tomorrow night. The Tigers and Mariners is proving to be the more competitive series in the AL, with that match tied 1-1. Detroit took game 1, but the Mariners weren't ready to kiss their pennant dreams goodbye just yet. Yesterday, with Detroit ace Tarek Skubal on the mound, Jorge Polanco hit not 1, but 2 homers, helping Seattle win their first playoff game at home in 24 years. In the National League tonight, the Dodgers are going to face the Phillies for Game 2 of their series, with LA taking that first game 5-3. Superstar Shohei Ohtani struck out 6 in that one, but tonight Blake Snell and Jesus Luzardo are the starters with first pitch at 5 p.m. The Brewers and the Cubs are also going to face off tonight in Game 2 of their series. Milwaukee took Game 1 of that one 3-9 on Saturday, with Freddie Peralta striking out 9 Cubs. Shota Imanaga and Aaron Ashby will be the starters tonight at 8.
And happy Victory Monday, everyone, especially to us Saints fans who can actually finally celebrate this one. Now, we got a win against the New York Giants that they didn't really look that good on Sunday. They turned the ball over 5 times. Spencer Rattler, though, threw for 225, including an 87-yard bomb to Rashid Shaheed for a touchdown. He remembered he has one of the best deep threats in the NFL. And then safety Jordan Howden returned a 86-yard fumble for a score. The Saints are now 1-4, leaving the Jets as the only team with no wins. And the Saints will look ahead to the New England Patriots, who pulled off an upset win over the Bills last night, as they come to the Superdome next week.
And speaking of some 0-5 teams, you got anything to say about that, Kennedy?
Yeah, you know what? After this week, I'll be 0-5. I'll come to terms with it. It's been tough, and that's why I'm here to call on Jonathan Salazar, our Tiger TV fantasy expert, to let me know what I can do to improve my team. Jonathan?
Thanks, Kennedy. The best way to improve your team is to be active on the waiver wire. And if you picked up this Panther off the waiver wire, you most likely won your matchup this week. I'm Jonathan Salazar. Welcome to the Fantasy Formula. Rico Dowdle was the best pick of the week with 32.4 points. Dowdle filled in for an injured Chuba Hubbard, and now it looks like a nightmare for all Chuba owners. In 4 games, Chuba has 217 yards. In just 1 game, Dowdle ran for 206 yards. Chuba is nursing a calf injury, which now seems like one of the worst injuries to deal with. Expect Dowdle to keep producing with Hubbard out. Next, Emeka Egbuka. Egbuka continues his monster rookie season with a monster 31.3 points. This was Egbuka's 2nd straight game with at least 100 receiving yards, and he now has 5 touchdowns in 5 games. The Buccaneers are in good hands with Egbuka as Mike Evans is on his way out and Chris Godwin comes back from a brutal injury. On the other hand, Derrick Henry finished with less than 10 points for the 3rd time this season. Henry has not gotten close to his Week 1 total of 29 points, and now with Lamar Jackson potentially missing multiple weeks, the Ravens' offense become one-dimensional, which will hurt Henry's rushing ability. Someone I'm not worried about is James Cook. Cook finished with just 4.9 points, and why am I not worried about Cook? Well, the Patriots allow the 5th fewest rushing yards per game, and this was Cook's first game under 100 yards from scrimmage since last season. Cook gets Atlanta next week, who allows the 16th most rushing yards. Expect Cook to bounce back easily. Finally, my favorite waiver wire ad this week is Theo Johnson. Johnson had his 2nd straight game with a touchdown, and is developing great chemistry with rookie QB Jackson Dart. Tight ends are known to be favorites among rookie QBs, so watch out and stash Johnson. The newest injury to watch is Amarian Hampton, who lands on the IR with an ankle injury, so be on the lookout for that waiver wire so you can replace him. After the break, meet the former LSU golfer who has made a huge jump in a professional golfing career.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. For the 2nd year in a row, an LSU golfer will play in the LPGA Tour. We're talking about Carla Tejeda, the Spanish golfer graduated last year from LSU. Carla took a part of the Epson Tour, pro golf's 2nd division, straight after college. And during her first season as a pro, she finished in the top 15, securing herself a spot in the LPGA Tour next year.
And we continue with a great result from LSU Volleyball. The team had a tough week as they faced number 20 Tennessee and 23 Florida. On Friday, LSU fell to Tennessee in a 5-set battle where they took the first 2 sets of the matchup but would drop the next 3. Sunday, things were different and the team shined against Florida. It's the team's first top 25 win since 2022. Journey Robinson had a historic performance with a career-high 34 kills, with her total 38.5 points, marking one of the program's best dominant individual performances.
We're continuing with LSU soccer as they also played a couple games over the weekend. LSU won on Thursday against the Missouri Tigers. Forward Morgan Witt scored the winning goal. It would be their second SEC win in a row. On Sunday, the team traveled to Athens to face the Georgia Bulldogs, where the team tied 1-1. And they'll take on the Texas A&M Aggies on Thursday. The Tigers currently sit in the middle of the pack in the SEC, and they'll look to keep their stellar home form against the Texas A&M team. Now, one thing all of these athletes have in common is where they eat. Reporter Amaya Patterson is in studio to tell us all about the Performance and Nutrition Center.
Thanks, Kennedy. Every week we get to see LSU athletes put on amazing performances, but when it comes to how they are getting fueled, head chef Michael Johnson holds a key position on the team that you don't always get to see. Michael Johnson, executive chef for LSU Athletics, is the one who calls the shots at the dining hall located in the LSU Football Operations Center. While being dedicated to preparing tasty and nutritional meals, Johnson and his team, consisting of nearly 50 people, work Monday through Friday to get the Tigers fed.
You could smell the smoke on the gator too. It had a little garlic, it had a little Calabrian chili in it as well.
Feeding nearly 1,200 people a day, what separates LSU Performance Nutrition from other schools' programs is Johnson's approach to how the system is ran.
These kids or these athletes or student athletes are here with purpose, and we're here for their purpose, right? And so it's kind of a different psychology as to why they eat here.
It is important for Johnson and his team to balance taste and nutrition while having a menu that changes daily. Johnson goes the extra mile when it comes to collecting the ingredients that the kitchen needs. Building trusting relationships and connecting with local businesses is how they spice things up, and you can definitely say that their work is hands-on.
For the Florida game, I went and hunted gators and brought the gators to the athletes, right? And so I know the guy who grows the rice, and I've spent time in his rice fields with him.
Passion, humility, and enjoyment are just a few of the core values that you can find on the menu here. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, this team of hardworking individuals are sure to fill stomachs with health and love. So while athletes are breaking records, Johnson and his team are breaking boundaries in the kitchen, one balanced meal at a time. And you don't have to be an athlete to get a taste of what they have cooked up for the day. After the break, we'll show you what has to be the worst plays of the NFL season.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfire.
Welcome back. This week, instead of the play of the week, we're going to spice it up and give you guys the worst play of the week. Thing is, Cardinals made it really hard to put just one, so we're going to show you two instead. Starting with Amari DiMercato, the score is 21-6 with 12 minutes on the clock. Cardinals running back pushes for 62 yards, but then drops the ball right before crossing over to the end zone. Now, if you think can't get worse, take a look at this. Interception thrown by Cam Ward. Defender loses the ball. Several Cardinals touch the ball without being able to gain control. One of them kicks it into the end zone, and Tyler Lockett scores a touchdown. The Cardinals end up losing that game. And continuing with the NFL, we have Monday night again. Kennedy, who are you choosing in this matchup between the Chiefs and the Jaguars?
I feel like betting against Patrick Mahomes is a bad idea, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
And although I'm no expert, I'm going to go with the Chiefs too. They looked great against the Ravens last week, but let's be real, who hasn't looked great against that injured Baltimore defense?
So far, we've only gotten one pick right for Monday nights, but I'm feeling pretty confident about tonight.
Yeah, Mahomes can't fail us this one. That's all the time we have for this week. For Tiger TV, I'm Olivia Girardi.
And I'm Kennedy Banks. Have a good night.